And that's a really important point, and that's the conditions today are unprecedented.
Just when Victorians thought the bushfire threat might have eased, this week it came back with ferocious intensity, driven by scorching heat and strong winds.
It's just like being in an oven. You can almost feel the ground crisping up, and we were just praying that the wind didn't take off.
On Tuesday, temperatures surged into the high 40s, breaking records across the state.
The hotter it is and the windier it is, the more difficult they have operating. Aircraft are impacted by air temperature, so when it's hot they can't lift as much as they normally would.
Out-of-control blazes have burnt through thousands of hectares. Help has since arrived from Canada and New Zealand.
The number of the crews on the aircraft are international crews.
Up to 15 aircraft a day, from small helicopters to firebombing tankers, have been launched from Colac Airport to assist in the Otways fire. Can you explain that aircraft that just took off? What's that going to go do?
So we've had another aircraft out this morning just doing some reconnaissance work, and he's discovered an area that's just needs a little bit of support for the crews out there, and that aircraft's just gone out to maybe cool their fire edge down a little bit so that they can do some work on the ground around there.
Victoria's most devastated area this week was in the state's southwest, where more than a dozen structures have been destroyed in the Otways fire and 2 lost in the Larralee fire. The conditions today, can you just describe what they're like?
They are terrible. The wind has got up now. Earlier this morning it was nice and calm in Colac, and then at about 12 o'clock the wind picked up and it just kept getting worse and worse, and these fires have broke out.
On Tuesday, a major grass fire ignited in Larralee. Veteran CFA volunteer Glenn Rippon was rushing to the fire front.
Delivering any messages that's got to go out from the country, from the head office around from Colac, take the food and drinks out to the firemen on the ground, and take the toilets and fridge trailer with water out to them, and meals when they want it.
Glenn has been a volunteer for 44 years and worked during 1983's Ash Wednesday.
It was terrible. We knew quite a few people in it, and that's what it was. So,
what's your message to people on a day like this?
Just look after yourself and keep in the safe areas. That's the main thing.
South of Larralee is the Otways National Park, where one of the state's most significant bushfires has reached more than 11,000 hectares in size.
We're on the cusp of do we go, do we leave, in terms of the red line, and so then we got the text to go.
More than 1,000 people escaped from the Otways bushfire. Charlotte Peverett was one of them. She and her dog Echo have been staying at the Colac Showgrounds, where a relief centre has been set up.
Up until, an hour ago, I was like watching it and going, oh, it's okay, but an hour ago, like that big wind, now I'm watching the IO bushfire app, and it's slowly creeping up towards us.
And when do you think you'll be able to go home?
An hour ago I was like, maybe tomorrow, but I don't know, we're going to see what the fires do tonight.
Station calling Brett Jackson.
That evening, southwesterly wind gusts surged up to 70 kilometres an hour and created erratic conditions for firefighters in the Otways.
It can be incredibly dangerous. The environment these firefighters are in today is the Otway National Park. We've got stringy barks down here, and what that type of a tree does, it can project or throw embers a very, very long way within the wind. So it's those combinations that they need to work with.
At the Incident Control Centre for the Otways bushfire, Alysia Drayton is helping coordinate the firefighting effort.
Wind from any direction at the moment would put potential pressure on these fires. So firefighters look forward in the coming days in relation to where they need to be on what edge of the fire to ensure that they can make it continue to make it safe, and indeed to a point in time where the fire is fully extinguished.
There was a large smoke plume over the top of forest, and it was quite strange because it wasn't really smoky in that, you know, your eyes are stinging, you can't breathe, but it was above us. So there was a big orange cloud right above us, and the leaves, the black burnt leaves, were just falling out of the sky.
Gillian Brew and her husband John were evacuated from the town of Forest in the Otways National Park after police knocked on their door.
We had a visit from a couple of lovely young policemen who just wanted to check in and make sure that we were leaving, and we sort of let them know that was our plan, and they were like, yep, that's great, you know, just make sure you're out before sundown.
It's the third time in 3 weeks Gillian has had to leave since the Otways fire first started earlier this year, when catastrophic fire conditions gripped the state. During each evacuation, she packs her most prized possessions.
For me, it was all about my childhood, so things that I knew I couldn't replace out of my childhood. So my favourite book as a child was Alice Through the Looking Glass, and then my dad passed away not long ago, and so this was his little toy that he had as a child, and it's sort of the only thing that we have from his childhood.
Some of Gillian's friends chose to stay and defend their homes.
It terrifies me, to be honest. I'm scared for them, and yeah, I wish they would get out of there.
Late yesterday afternoon, Gillian and her husband were told their home was safe to return to. But as locals head back to their homes in the Otways, Alistair Drayton says it may not be the last time they'll have to evacuate.
There's still quite a number of weeks to go through the end of summer and indeed into early autumn, so the risk period is still there.